Here's a name that people haven't heard in a while. Richard Simmons. It's Rob and Liz in the morning. His radio, Harlan in for Liz. I wonder if Harlan even knows who Richard Simmons is.
I do, like a blast from the past, though. Like nothing we've heard of in a long time.
Talking 90s and early 2000s when Richard Simmons was really on the scene. He was an inspiration to a lot of people because he had challenges with his weight, did something about it, and then became like the spokesperson for getting in shape.
Right.
He had his outfits, he had the big hair, and then did all these videos and helped people, normal people like you and me, get in shape and get healthy.
Wasn't he one of the first to do like the TV video kind of workout so you could do it at home?
Kind of in that era. There was Jane Fonda, there was Richard Simmons, and way before that in the 50s and 60s with a guy by the name of Jack LaLanne. Some useless bit of information here.
I was going to say, I don't know any of those other names except
Richard Simmons, right? Well, these were the precursors of Richard Simmons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so probably in your time, because she's young, Richard Simmons would be who you would know instead of Jane Fonda.
I don't know who that is.
Denise Austin, and the jumping jack. By the way, you know what a jumping jack is?
Yes,
it was named after the guy of Jack LaLanne. But that's another story altogether.
Really?
Richard Simmons is back on the scene, or at least he's not silent anymore. He's been silent for a while, and some people are like, "Whatever happened to that guy?"
Yeah, is he still alive? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Where's he at? What's he doing?
I have no idea, but at least he's saying, I'm here, and here are some of my fun moments that I've had throughout the years.
Oh, okay, so he's doing a little reflection.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't know how much he's going to be on the scene. I mean, this is like Scott's superhero here, Richard Simmons.
You know what I remember about Richard Simmons is the hair. Yeah, he had the big poofy do on there, but he was to me, he was one of the original like fitness guys that I remember, and he was in I think some TV shows, movies, I believe.
He was all over the place. He was all over the talk shows. He was on David Letterman all the time. I mean, he'd make an appearance everywhere.
Yeah,
he just had that personality that was very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
He came by a radio station I worked at once. I wasn't there. But I was like, man, I wish I'd known Richard Simmons was coming by here today because I would have come to work that day.
He was such a big personality. Even Ninja knows who he is.
Yeah, I know who he is because my dad and grandparents grew up in Louisiana, where Richard Simmons is from, and they have a cousin who actually grew up on his street before he was famous and knew him.
Isn't that crazy?
Did he get your cousin to work out?
I'm not sure, but...
And probably wasn't into fitness back then in that day because he overcame the challenges and then shared it with the world on how to overcome that themselves.
I just remember him not being so much about body image, but about being healthy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He would just do these random moves, which now we call like jazzercise or exercise and dancing or whatever. And he
all
would
the
do
group
these
stuff.
steps, and it was so much more about moving than it was about being the perfect, slender,
Yeah, instead of what the look is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't walking around with a shirt that showed abs or anything like that. He was just a normal guy.